This news story was written by Amber Ferguson. America has a black sperm donor shortage. Black women are paying the price. Black men account for fewer than 2% of sperm donors at cryobanks. Their vials are gone in minutes. Newark, Delaware. Every night a little after 1 a.m., following her shift as a guard at a women's prison, Reese Brooks would open her laptop, a second laptop, then her phone and a tablet, and begin scouring websites for sperm banks, opening dozens of tabs. The websites offered hundreds of potential sperm donors, allowing Brooks to select for movie star looks, height, and hobbies, but when she filtered for Black or African American donors, her options swiftly dwindled. The cryobanks gave Brooks a chance at motherhood, but they couldn't provide what she wanted, a black sperm donor who could give her a child who looked like her and shared her culture. I'd say I spent 40 hours a week looking for a donor. Altogether, I think I searched more than 800 hours, Brooks said. But when it came to a black donor, she said, the choices were slim to none. Cryobanks reported that the number of black women seeking their services to conceive rose sharply during the pandemic after increasing steadily over the years. Black women between the ages of 35 and 45 are far more likely to remain unmarried than women from other racial groups, according to the latest census data, with 44% of non-Hispanic black women unmarried, compared with 16% of white women. Yet black sperm donors represent just a fraction of available supply, fewer than 2% at the country's 4 largest sperm banks, according to an analysis by the Washington Post. The severe shortage is forcing black women who need donor sperm into a painful choice: choose a donor of another race and raise a biracial child, or try to buy sperm from unregulated apps and online groups. The reasons for the shortage are myriad: failure among cryobanks to recruit black donors, a selection process that demands a 3-generation medical history, which may be challenging for black men who may not have access to quality healthcare, and excludes donors with felony convictions, mistrust of the medical profession by black men because of a legacy of historical discrimination. The search for donor sperm usually takes place on a cryobank website where someone can browse profiles of available donors with limited personal and genetic information. Baby pictures of donors may be available for an additional fee. On average, sperm is sold for $950 to $1,300 per vial. Donors receive $70 to $150 per donation. The cryobanks sell a fixed number of vials per donor to limit the number of children fathered by any one donor. There are more than 20 cryobanks in the country, 4 of which have more than 100 donors. Among the 4, California Cryobank, Fairfax Cryobank, Seattle Sperm Bank, and Zytex, supply fluctuates, but as of October 11th, there were only 12 black donors out of a total of 748. White and Asian donors are disproportionately represented, while Hispanic donors are also underrepresented. Of 15 women who talked to the Post, only 1 was able to buy sperm and conceive a child with a black donor. The black women detailed fierce competition on cryobank websites for vials from black donors, which, they say, typically sell out within minutes. Angela Stepancic, a DC educator, recalled putting vials of sperm from a black donor into her online shopping cart only to get beaten out by a sorority sister she was on the phone with who was faster to check out. Stepancic had a mixed-race child using sperm from a Latino donor. At California Cryobank, the waiting list for an in-demand white donor is generally 3 months, according to Jamie Shamanki, the chief medical officer. The wait for a black donor there can stretch as long as 18 months. And women in their late 30s and 40s, who are facing diminishing fertility due to age, simply can't wait. You know that if you get what you need, that means another sister won't get what she needs if she wants a black donor, too. I'm crying, fasting, praying and believing for a donor, author Candace Bembo, 40, said. I know she's doing the same, but I need to buy as much as I can, pay my storage fee, and do what I need to do. You know that if you get what you need, that means another sister won't get what she needs if she wants a black donor, too. I'm crying, fasting, praying and believing for a donor. Black women are predispositioned to other fertility hurdles. They face higher risks in conceiving and carrying a child. They are more likely to suffer uterine fibroids and other conditions that can compromise fertility, and 3 times more likely than white women to die of a pregnancy-related cause. And yet they are less likely to be referred to specialists than white women, said Michael Thomas, president-elect of the American Society for Reproductive Medicine. One of the biggest problems that we face as fertility doctors is not getting those patients in sooner. And we see the gynecologists sometimes dragging their feet in those referrals because they just assume that these patients are going to get pregnant on their own.
I was looking at this story that says there is a severe shortage of black men donating sperm, well, donating to sperm banks in the U.S. on this one channel, and I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious, man. I had, like a couple of videos ago, I had did this thing called the Faustian deal, where I posit that if you have to make a deal with the woman to fuck your life up and shit, i.e. a relationship or unprotected sex and all that shit. And we always tell these young guys, these young kings out here, to make sure that they keep their head on a swivel. Make sure you're strapped up and everything. Make sure that shit is airtight, because once the woman gets you into a legal and binding contract, you're fucked. You're going right into the system and shit. There's a number of places you're going to end up and shit. But the last place being the upper room and shit. Right before that is like the penitentiary and poverty. Like crippling poverty with no recourse to get out and shit, and just a bunch of host of crap. So I would listen to the story, and the person was like just kind of befuddled. And this woman said that she had, she kind of was sounding a little shaky there, but she said she had talked to guys in her family. She had never heard that kind of subject coming up about selling sperm and all this shit. And she played some audio and shit. She played some fucking audio about these sisters trying to get like a black man's sperm. These successful single black women. They actually had the online service to get a man's sperm. And she said this female in the recording said that she was talking to her friend while she was going through the website. There, she was like, she made the mistake of saying out loud that she had found a black man willing to donate sperm, and it's like eBay. So the friend she was talking to got the black man's sperm before she could get it and impregnate herself with it and shit. And I just laugh. And I'd like to see more stories like this where like dudes are just saying fuck it. Because we are the prize, okay? We're the motherfucking table, okay? We're the fucking table. We built the fucking table. No doubt about it. Now, they can tell us all day how much they don't need us, don't want us, and all that bullshit. And maybe they believe in it and everything, but like, hey, we're gonna believe it too and shit. We're gonna withhold everything from you. We're gonna withdraw everything from you. If you want to be a fucking a transactional individual and shit, a transactional life form, we'll treat you like that. Put a quarter in your ass and shit and hit it and quit it and shit, And most motherfuckers gonna just say fuck that. I prefer them to just, somebody take a fucking black pill and shit. If you're an older dude, no, you really gotta watch out for some younger bust downs and shit, because they're gonna be looking for someplace to shack up. And old dudes are number one target and shit, because they think they can get over on you, and that they don't really have to do nothing but like every now and then give you a little that busted piece sleeve and shit, and they can just squat in your house and destroy the fuck out of it and shit with their kids running roughshod, and you can't say shit. You know the deal. Yeah, this is great news and shit that there's a severe shortage of black men donating sperm. And I like to think they're overseas donating their sperm to women that deserve their sperm and shit, making goddamn families, rebuilding the black community and shit on the world stage. Because it's dying here. It's dying here in this country. It ain't gonna get no better. Like, the inmates running the asylum for like 400 fucking years and shit, and they ain't learned a goddamn thing. Look at all the leaders. They're like old, decrepit motherfuckers, man. And then, they got like, black females and, propping them up and shit. And towing the company line and attacking us every day, doing all kind of shit. Like every seeds. I just think it's a great day when I hear this shit. This is just shortage of black men donating sperm. Here in the U.S. in the United States of America, 3K's inset. It's a fucking great thing. Yeah. Remember, They have no fucking power over you unless you make the Faustian deal with them. Okay? It's kind of like, Faustian deal, that's kind of like making a deal with the red man downstairs. If you get my drift. Metaphorically speaking, for some of you, once they get you, once they get in your house, they're trying to get in your fucking house and squat in that bitch and fuck your shit up, drive you crazy. Don't let them in there. Keep the ass at arm's length. Keep the ass at legs length. Big boot length. You know, don't let them squat in your house. Don't take them to your fucking house. Don't let them know where your ass live and shit. All right? If they don't like that, then just kick it to the next one. There's more women than men all over the fucking planet and shit. You ain't gotta tell them shit. Say, okay, I'll keep it on moving. Don't let them squat in your house. Don't enter into a legal and binding agreement as defined by this Confederate States of America 3Ks and said, do not fucking enter into a legal agreement, i.e. marriage, when it will serve no purpose for you. All right? No, none of the women here are trying to build a family. They're seeking power and shit. All right? Power, a good ton of them wouldn't know what to do with it if you gave it to them and shit. And they already have as much power as they need and shit, but they don't know how to use that either. Okay? When you marry them and shit, you give up power. And you give up your home and your sanity and shit. Alright? It's pretty fucked up to take a leap of faith and shit and just trust someone and shit to not fuck you over like, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10, 20, 30 years. They can still leave and take all your shit. Alright? You can have a pros and prenup, but a judge can circumvent that if they want. Alright? A decent lawyer can cut your paperwork to shreds. Keep that in mind. No common law marriage. That goes up front with the shit. Don't let them squat in your house. Years ago in Los Angeles, I used to know this female that kind of looked like I don't know, shit. She kind of looked like a Halle Berry type chick that was thick as hell. It was like Southern thick. She was badass, and I never did shit with her or nothing. Every time I saw her, she only had one question for me, man. We used to work together at the post office, and then I would see her around LA and she'd just pop up and shit. And she always said the same shit. She was like, "Oh, how's your apartment?" She heard that I was living in Hollywood and shit, and she was intent on moving in there. And the last time I saw her, she asked me that. She was in the car with her boyfriend, who was a pookie. All right, and he just looked at me and rolled his eyes. That was LA. That's some LA shit right there. I mean, seriously, a pookie, man. A white t-shirt, all that bullshit. Jacked up. But he's been buck broken by her enough that he ain't gonna say shit because the way she looked, he don't want to lose that trophy or what he thinks is the prize. But I knew it wasn't the prize. I was like, well, I could get some pussy, but it's gonna cost me my sanity in an apartment. I had just already been through that shit with another woman and nearly lost my life and shit. How you gonna elaborate? So, I want to drive that home about fucking marriage and a legal contract and shit. And lastly, as I've been talking about, the whole subject of this video is do not have children with them. Okay? Do not have children with them. They're gonna, even if if you guys are in that same house, they're gonna subvert whatever you want your children to be. They're gonna cut in. They're gonna, every time you say something, she's gonna cut you off and have something to say to, overwrite what the fuck you're talking about. It's gonna get on your goddamn nerves. You're gonna clash, and then here comes the shitstorm. Bitch quake or whatever. You're gonna lose every goddamn thing, and you're gonna lose your fucking children. You're gonna have access to your fucking children. You're gonna be a FaceTime daddy and shit, a birthday daddy, a holiday daddy and shit, a daddy cash at me daddy. Do you really want that shit? I want to tell you something. I think they should abolish the current form of child support. And I think that all child support should be put on one of them goddamn EBT cards. And that's how the woman should get it. She should not be allowed to ask you for money. She should have to go through the middleman, the government, the zaddy, the minority majority to get her child support and shit. And I think that every 6 months she should be audited. You know, everything that she used that card to buy, that should come at the great cost of shit. You know, she's not doing shit for the kid. You know, she get audited, and if she's found wanting this shit, that kid goes to the other parent. If the parent wants the fucking kid, you know, it's a Western society. It's a gynocracy and shit. So it would behoove you not to have no kids, because they're gonna fuck you over. They're gonna have control of you for over 18 years in perpetuity, especially if you have more than one kid. They're gonna have control over your fucking life, whether you like it or not. Okay, they're always gonna have some control and shit. All right, that's a given. But also they're gonna fuck your future up. Your children are your future. All right, they carry your values, your DNA, everything forward after you're gone. And when a woman gets control of your kids and you're not in the fucking house, your kid becomes a perversion of who you are as a person and shit. Your contribution to that child. You know, everything you would have wanted to teach a child and have a child learn about who they are and, you know, to have values and shit, that's gone. Now that kid's going to be raised in a single parent household with somebody that's not qualified to be a parent. As we know, a lot of women have forgotten basic things, you know, and you can't talk to them and shit because they get like super defensive about it. So, you know, like the like the like the article says, there's a severe shortage of black men donating sperm banks in the U.S. I mean, nobody wants to donate some sperm and then have the mother of that, you know, the mother who impregnated herself with that shit, pursue you for child support. Especially in this economy coming up, the winter is coming. You think somebody's not going to try it and they haven't tried it already? A lot of women have done this shit. Like, they got impregnated with some sperm, stole some sperm and shit, impregnated themselves, and got child support. Even women that have, you know, been sexually engaged in sexual misconduct with underage boys have the boys have been hit with child support papers. All right, ain't that something? And they don't get no, they get a slap on the wrist because of their gender. It's a catch-22 you don't want to be involved in this shit. And I'm gonna take my fucking hat off of shit to all these brothers out here that said fuck that sperm bank shit.
The baby's crying and he doesn't know what to do because he doesn't spend time with his fucking kids, and I came to get my kids, and he trying to tell me get out the house when I'm trying to get my stuff for class. And then fucking literally while I have the baby in my hand, yanking me by my fucking hair, fucking hitting me, punching me.
Every single time it's like you think that you come to an agreement on stuff, and then, you know, then it's like, oh no, and it's just, I think he's not ready right now.
Your husband?
Yeah. And you know what? And I feel like we're friends. We are friends. Like, we're really good friends. Really good friends. Like, he is a person who I can, like, depend
Y'all still
on.
having sex?
No, we are not.
Okay.
Yeah. No. But we can still sleep in the same bed. Like, sometimes I'll go over and we can literally sleep in the same bed. No sex, no nothing. Like, we're just friends, like genuine friends. And we're better that way. When we were together, it was not that.
Some pussy stand him in the face. I'm sorry. I don't know the man that's been born that's gonna say no to here, look around here. Ain't nobody looking, he gonna fuck the pussy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If you're in a committed relationship, then you are supposed to be able to say no. It's the art of no theory for me. Okay? If you know that you're involved with this person, you have no business. And I know that there's such thing as, I mean, you're gonna get turned on and all that. You're gonna see somebody you wanna fuck, but your mind's supposed to tell you, I have a committed relationship here. Right. I have a wife, I have whatever. And tell the dick to shut the fuck up. Tell the dick to get down. Strap that motherfucker down. You have to.
I'm serious. You know something, though? It don't even matter what color she is. My man is gone.